Hey, good morning, good afternoon, and possibly even good evening. Welcome to our stream today. Drew, welcome. Say hello.
Hey, good to see you. Good to see everybody. It's always nice to hop on a live stream with Jay. We don't get to do this as much anymore as we used to, so this is great.
Yeah, so I'm Jay Ryerson. I'm VP of Global Security Sales here at ConnectWise. Many of you probably know me. I came from the MSP space, started a security company, and we were acquired by Continuum, and then Continuum was acquired by ConnectWise. And so here we are today. Drew, how'd you get here?
Yeah, so I'm VP of Security Operations here at ConnectWise. So my teams deliver all of our security offering the services around them that we deliver. But I'm also a former MSP owner. Jay and I actually met through that process in a peer group. As he mentioned, started a security company after we sold our MSPs. And then we're glad to be here today. So I'm looking forward to kind of this topic, what we're going to talk about today on this live stream.
Yeah, we're very excited to announce in the last few hours we put out the press release, and it's now hit the wire that ConnectWise is releasing their ConnectWise MDR for MSPs and TSPs integrated with Microsoft's Advanced Security Suite, including Microsoft Defender for Business and Microsoft 365 Business Premium. So it's a first for us where we are bringing SOC services and a bring your own license model here at ConnectWise. All right. The reality is that partners who have already got business premium deployed and are looking for ways to meet compliance and insurance requirements and just regulatory requests to do 24/7 monitoring of that, because security is a 24/7 problem that we're all trying to solve for. ConnectWise is now solving for that for our partners. And Drew, your team is delivering that solution. So tell us more about it.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. We've had partners coming to us for a long time saying, hey, can you deliver the services you do on other solutions on top of what Microsoft offers and what that looks like? And so we're really excited to be able to carry this forward. So for those partners, that come to us with Business Premium, with Defender for Business on there, we can actually begin to offer those services to be able to monitor those around the clock, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with the same award-winning service we've been able to do out of our SOC with the services we've been offering, but then be able to continue to be able to be those eyes on, watch what's happening, be able to provide guidance, direction, and even response into what's happening, into those alerts, into those different things that are firing inside your environment. That way we can take the pressure off of your team that's having to watch those different things all the time and be able to then reach out. When there's things that your team needs to be engaged in, we're reaching out to you, letting you know what's happening, picking up the phone, guiding that conversation to help guide the response on what it is. So, we're really excited, Jay. I think that, when you look at the opportunities and for, the role that Microsoft plays in our space, I think this is a really good next step, both for ConnectWise, but also in this collaboration that we're doing.
Yeah, and so let's take a half step back. Let's talk about ConnectWise security for a moment, because I don't know that everybody thinks of us as a security provider, and yet we've become one of the largest providers, serving only MSPs and TSPs, in the marketplace. I think some of the stats that we've heard in the past, we've got about 200 people in the SOC, working around the clock to help protect our partners. We've got Our partners have deployed to more than 100,000 of their client sites, right? Not client machines, client sites. So we're talking about millions of devices under management. We're ingesting, I think it's 1.3 million events per second right now into our back-end systems. And of course, that's the work and the content that your team is working with under. But now we add Microsoft to the mix. Microsoft is ingesting, I think I heard yesterday, the stat was 6.5 billion events per day. And it's trillions per month. And so we're benefiting now. All of our partners are benefiting from the threat intelligence coming out of the Microsoft, which is obviously the forefront of all things security these days. They are the leader in the Magic Quadrant, when it comes to EDR solutions. And what we're doing with their business premium licenses, the Microsoft Defender for Business, is second to none. We're leading the charge in the RMM space to help protect our partners. And our partners have a lot of the same issues that they've had for years. A lot of them don't have security talent. Like you don't have full-time security people on staff. Some of you
Mhm.
do, but a lot of you do not. And so we've had to build your team, Drew, to help support that, right? And so, talk about what your team does with the content and the data and the threat intelligence that you guys are getting, and how it helps protect our partners.
Yeah, so we actually have, and I hesitate to say it's the best kept secret. We actually have a team that we call the ConnectWise Cyber Research Unit that's 100% focused on taking the data that one we see in the outside world, but also the things we see inside of our environment, which are all the data that comes in from different partners, from their customers and things like that, hunting inside of it and looking for unique situations that happen inside the environment. I mean, when you look at the attacks today, if I go back 10, 15 years and we start looking at the attacks that happened, where did they start? They started in the enterprise, right? That's where it all happened. Well, times have changed and shifted. The attackers have found new opportunities to focus on the SMB space because they can monetize a lot of that information. So a lot of the new attacks actually originate there, not just in the enterprise today. So we get a unique view into a lot of the information that's happening, and we're collaborating with a lot of different research teams across the space to be able to provide real-time actionable information into our teams that are monitoring the environments to be able to make sure they're aware of what's happening, they're seeing the new attacks, that we're building defenses and pieces to be able to operationalize a lot of that information. So it really makes us get the best view, the first view in many cases of what's going on in the world, which gives us the ability to action and respond quicker, and then provide that information back to our partners so that how to act on that. When we're seeing alerts, we're able to communicate back to you what the impact of that is, and then be able to help guide you on what that response should look like.
Yeah, and look, there's a lot of places in the market where you hear people are watching Microsoft, but what we're doing is very, very different. It's a different storyline. It's a different level of care than we're accustomed to. I mean, even in our SIM today, we've got integrations with the Microsoft 365 suite, but today this rollout is an API driven business premium or Windows Defender for Business level delivery. We're not just talking about watching the AV on a standard Windows machine, what comes from the factory. We're talking about the next generation of security for our partners. And it doesn't mean that we're dropping or changing relationships with our other key players, right? We've been engaged with many of them for years, but it means that we're giving you more choice, more options, and building the 24-hour services around it. Because as we mentioned, your teams struggle with talent. You don't have the talent, so we're going to provide that level of care. We're doing it at breakneck speed with best-in-class, systems and processes to help, protect our partners and their clients. And we're doing it leveraging Microsoft. Again, giving our partners more choice. I was talking to a partner the other day that has one of our, name brand EDRs that I've been a fan of for many years. And they're like, yeah, well, we've got 1,000 of those, but I've got 4,000 Microsoft Business Premium licenses that aren't being watched, and we don't have a team. We have a partner in Canada who is very, very big on Microsoft, and they love the Microsoft product, and they've been begging for SOC services for it for well over a year now. Today we're pleased to announce that with our collaboration with Microsoft, we can now deliver SOC services attached to Microsoft Defender for Business.
Well, and I think that's
So
a great point, Jay. What you're saying there, I just want to emphasize something you said, because we do have partners that are using one of our other solutions and partner with our MDR, but then have a large investment in the Microsoft stack, right? And they're working with their customers in that space. And one of the nice things is we can provide the same service across both as you're doing that. So it gives you one SOC, one team to be able to watch that regardless of where you are as you're growing and scaling your business, making business decisions about where you're going to put certain customers and what that looks like. It allows us to provide one view, one communication stream into what's happening from a security standpoint into your customers while you're growing and scaling your business at your choice as you're building forward with that.
yeah, and look, at the end of the day, we're solving for and have been solving for a few things. One, reduce the risk for a MSP, for our TSP partners. Next, make sure that they've got a product they can take to market that their clients already know and trust. and then ultimately use this as a way to drive growth. I mean, some recent stats from Microsoft and Forrester, 85% of the MSPs, make sure I get this right, see security as an area of growth. I think it's probably 100% of MSPs see security as growth, right? I mean, it's growing so fast. There's no reason not to be part of it. 64% of the SMBs prefer purchasing their cybersecurity as a package that meets all their requirements. And Microsoft's done a really good job of building that capability into what they're doing inside the business premium licenses. So sure, there's an uplift for the business premium from the standard licenses, but the value is so much for the money. It's a no-brainer, I think, for most of our partners to consider. And of course, look, there's the integrations that we bring. I mean, ConnectWise is the leader in security, but not just security, all solutions for our TSP community. And we do it with services, with software, and with that community. Things like IT Nation Connect coming up in November, right? Where 5,000 plus of our closest friends and associates are going to be, sharing ideas, what's happening, where the market's going, and what it's going to look like. But Microsoft will be there now too. They've got a seat at the table, and they're going to be there to share what they're doing and where they're heading. And it's certainly of value, and ultimately it drives the message that we all need to know as to where it's going. And so look, our seamless integrations that we're building between Microsoft and ConnectWise are second to none. We've got best access to the APIs and the teams at Microsoft, along with our developers, to make this the right solution for partners. So look, Drew, I think that you undersold the value of the CRU, and the work that's really going on there, because I think it really does drive value for our partners who think, oh, I have to go buy a separate service to do hunting and these kinds of things. But you've got more data at your fingertips, and your team is accessing and analyzing threat information in such a wide variety of content. What should partners know that we haven't said yet?
Well, I think the main thing is when you start looking at it, right, we're bringing all that data into tool sets that we've got to be able to analyze and hunt across the data around the clock, looking for what's happening inside those environments. And then, if you know anything about hunting, right, hunting is not about an alert that pops up and where it is. It's about building storylines, building hypothesis about looking at about what's going on, and then being able to bring that forward, prove that, see that there's something there, raise the appropriate alert, but then go back and build that alerting into what we do. So what we're doing is building a continual stream of processes to look for things that aren't there, look for things that aren't going, that we don't know are happening, be able to identify them. And that can come from all sorts of different pieces, but then build continual alerting into those processes so that maybe we see it in one customer's environment, we see it in one partner's environment, but then we're able to bring that across the entire base of all the partners and everything we work with, which becomes the key to the whole ecosystem, right? Is about really bringing that value forward on everything we're seeing from a research standpoint and what it looks like. So the other thing I would say is this, from the day that Jay and I originally started our security company to what this has grown into today, right? It's been about you. It's been about the MSP. This business was built, the SOC was custom built to serve the MSP community, right? It wasn't an enterprise SOC or something else that was brought and matured and changed to try to fit the channel. It really was about building a service that was focused on the needs of your business and then understanding, how do we communicate with you? What are the software packages that your customers use? How do you communicate with your customers, and making sure that the way we're talking to you, the way we're communicating things is easily transferable to your entire service stream on how you deliver your business to your customers. That's what makes our relationship unique and what we think is a massive value add to you as our partners.
Yeah, and look, I think it's the first of many things that we'll be doing and announcing with Microsoft. A lot of big announcements coming, IT Nation Connect, and I think that every day now our teams are working side by side to really drive value for our partners, so that they've got a go-to-market strategy and a product set that is enterprise grade. Again, top right on Gartner's Magic Quadrant, allowing them to lead the charge in security. And I was talking to one of their GMs that was here in the office yesterday, and we were talking about I think it was 2003 when Microsoft came out and said, we will become the largest security company in the world. Now, look, they've had some bad days, right? But at the end of the day, they are delivering a solution that makes all of our careers possible. And that's a pretty bold statement, right? Because most of us are leveraging the Microsoft stack across the board to build our business. We got here on that, at least on their shoulders. And now they're delivering security that just makes sense. And at the end of the day, adding services from ConnectWise to help do what we already do well, which is deliver that ability for you to secure your customers 24/7. So you don't have to hire the talent and staff it and build the processes and take on the cost ahead of revenue, right? We can definitely help you drive that revenue solution forward, leveraging the best-in-class solutions that Microsoft Business Premium brings to the table with Defender for Business. So look, I don't have a lot more to add to it. I think it's a pretty straightforward motion for many of us. But Drew, any closing thoughts?
I think the main thing is look at your business, understand where you are. Right. Our teams are here to help you with it, whether it be our sales team or other parts of our team, to help you understand what this really looks like. Right. What does my stack look like today? What am I delivering? And is able to help you have the conversation to understand what it is. I mean, the other thing I would mention, and it's going even beyond here, but our partner program, which is another side point to this, helps you as a business know how to build and scale. And I think that's one of the things. I mean, I'll say it for Jay, because usually he's the one really carrying this message on the partner program. But as you come in and join with us, whether you're already a partner, whether you're not a partner yet from a ConnectWise standpoint, we have the tools to help you understand what it looks like to build and grow that with Microsoft as we're continuing to do that, grow that across the other pieces of your business as you look at it. So another piece to help, where we're here about bringing value add to our partners, helping you grow your business, because guess what? ConnectWise doesn't grow unless you grow. And that's really what we're about, is helping you grow and build sustainable businesses that are able to secure your customers and secure them well continually.
Yeah, thanks, Drew. I hate to always be the one pitching my own team what we're doing, but it's certainly good. It's interesting because there's so many things that we're doing, right? We talked about the CRE, we talked about the SOC and the capacity of your team to support. We talk about our partners who have found a tremendous amount of success. Matter of fact, I think the recurring number we hear from partners is that they are 17% more profitable because of what they do with ConnectWise, and they've realized that we can keep their operating costs down and basically do more with less. And look, when I was a partner, that's what it was all about. How can I get the most out of our tools and our partnerships to drive value? So whether it's, hey, we don't have a marketing team, so using the partner programs team to help build marketing content to get to market on cybersecurity, leveraging your SOC so we don't have to worry about 24/7, or ultimately just to deliver value to your clients. We're here to help you do all those things. And so look, with that, there's a lot of really neat things going on around here. I would make sure that you do your best to make sure you get registered for IT Nation Connect. I can't say enough good things about what happens there, and it really does matter. So let's see. Are there any questions that have come in? Yeah, I think that was a great comment. I actually like that. It's our ability to use our ability to provide scale so that you can provide those services and solutions to your clients and do so affordably. So look, Drew, if you've got nothing else, then let's wrap up.
Well, let me say one more thing. It kind of relates to that. Is that one stat that I'm really proud of with our SOC, and I didn't say this a minute ago, and I probably should have. That I'm really proud of with our SOC is that on average, we're able to clear out over almost 95% of the noise. Right? What does that mean? That means all the alerts and things that come to you from a lot of different tooling. And there's a lot of great things that are done by tooling. Like look at Microsoft being able to quarantine, deal with threats, bring in all those things. But then that alerting comes in, and the next question is, what do you do with it? And on average, across all of our tooling, we're able to really look at, deliver to you what's important for you to take action on. But on average, we're clearing out, I think the exact number is like 94.6% of all the noise that comes in, we're able to deliver, deal with in-house, not have to have your team be tied up with it. That's an important stat, right? That means your team is free to talk to your customers. It means your team is free to continue to grow what you're doing, but while we're securing it. And then on that extra 5%, we're partnering with you to help guide you to understand what's the security ramifications, what are the things that need to be happening, and help walk through with you through that process. I just, to me, that's one of the really important and I think powerful stats as we start looking at it. And we continue to look to evaluate and improve and walk through those. Jay, we're going to say something to that?
Yeah, there's so much we can go into, right? So we could break that apart and spend all day talking about those things. I was talking with well, I meet with partners quite a bit, and we did an event in Australia not long ago that was partner facing, talking about going to market, what it looked like. You and I were both there, and we asked the room, how many of you have a full-time security person on staff? And a small number, 10%, 15% raised their hands. And how many of you have more than one? It's rare. And so how do you deliver 24/7 security? Because you can't do this part-time. You can't do it 8 to 5 and have an on-call engineer, because even the on-call engineers have to sleep. And then that's really why, Drew, you and I built that SOC to begin with. What was to get to that capability, because we knew our partners weren't going to be able to attract and retain security talent, because every time a security person or an IT person goes and gets a security certificate, they then get recruited by the enterprise. And so solving that talent gap has been a major focus for us for years. We're not new at this. We built that SOC starting back in 2016, long before any of us realized that we really were going to need to have a security operations center. And yet today, IDC suggests that nearly half of an MSP's revenue should come from security. So how do you do that? What does that look like? And I think that's where the partner program, the things that ConnectWise is doing with our playbooks and our run books and our frameworks, things that we're doing to help provide that knowledge, is to teach our partners, what great security looks like. And look, at the end of the day, we're here to help. So if you want to learn more about what we're doing, you go out and visit connectwise.com. If you found us on one of the social media posts, obviously we appreciate you being here today and giving us a few minutes of your time. Reach out to our teams, learn what we're doing and what we can solve for. You might be pleasantly surprised that we can help you consolidate the number of tools you're working with, provide a higher level of care to your clients when it comes to cybersecurity, and staff it for you with our SOC 24/7. So Drew, thank you for your time. To our team behind the scenes that made this possible, thank you for giving us a chance to have a voice in the community. We always appreciate talking to and listening to the partners. And so I'm Jay Ryerson here with Drew Sanford, reminding you to stay safe, stay healthy, and of course, stay secure.